hands, how many of you have gotten close to getting an A in a class? So like you've gotten a 89.888 or so. I definitely know the feeling. So I mentioned in previous speeches that I used to go to NAU. When I went to NAU, the teachers never rounded up, and I think they did it on purpose. Most of the time, when they didn't round up, it was for not coming to class, not participating in class, or something simple like that. So when I was at NAU, I had a teacher that did not round up at all. She would take points off if you weren't in class as soon as it started. So if you're a second late and she's already closed the door, you're not getting in, and she's going to take points off. You could be out there, but until there's like a little break in between, you're not getting in. So this teacher, she had my grade at a 89.7 or so. I went in her class and I asked her, like, is there anything I can do to make up? Other than miss one class and I was late one time. And she was like, there's nothing you can do. I don't round up. This is it. So I was on fire. Like, I swear I was just not having it. So I was just like, are you serious? Like, I missed one class because I was sick. It's snowing out here. That's how I got sick. And she was like, well, there's nothing you can do because you did not come to class, even though you did notify me. There's nothing you can do. You read the attendance policy. It's in the syllabus. And I'm like, okay. So I just had to accept my grade. It was a B. It was a high B, but it was a B. So obviously we all are in this class, and we are being graded on attendance. And even though I know there may be times where there is reasons for grading attendance, like there needs to be more participation in class, or there needs to be people actually coming to class. But even though that does need to happen, there needs to be something that, there needs to be some points that will be excluded from. So I just feel like the attendance policy should be eliminated from the grading system altogether, just because there are instances that come up where we're not able to come to class, or something's happened to our family and we cannot come to class at all. So we've all experienced this by being in this class. We may have experienced it in other classes, but it's kind of a headache having to come to class every time, even though you are not able to, and you're missing points because you're not able to come, and there's no way you can make those points up. Right now, I have a petition that we can sign towards the end, but it is basically going to go over how we can get rid of the attendance grading system and how we can send in information to get this removed altogether. But although this may not be an issue for teachers because they believe that it's helping students come into class and do things, it is a big issue for students. As college students, we are being penalized for not being in class. So we're not getting our academic-based grade because we are being graded on attendance. So we may do all of our work and everything that we need to do, but our grade is not reflected that way because we're not in class all the time. So we can be doing all of the work and completing all the tests, getting A's and everything on that part, but we missed 3 days in class, so that takes away 300 points, which could hinder our grade a lot. So completing all assignments and doing good on the test may not be enough for the teacher, even though we know all the content. Just because we're not in class, we're losing points, and those points cannot be made up. So a lot of teachers do say that we should get our money's worth for being in class. And even though that is true, who's to determine what our money's worth is? So we can all say, well, yeah, I'm going to get my money's worth, but it could mean something completely different to the next person. So yeah, you're going to get your money's worth, but my money's worth is a little different. So I may be coming into class and doing everything that I need to do, but the next time I may not come into class, but I still know what I need to do. I've turned in everything, but because I'm not there, somebody may think I'm not getting my money's worth. I'm getting my money's worth because I'm doing whatever I need to do, but the next person may think that I am not. So the next point that I do want to go over is some students may need mental health days, and according to Mental Health America, which is a website held by doctors, your mental health is disrupting, if your mental health is disrupting your ability to participate in academic and campus life, even with support and accommodations, you're not required to go to class. So if you're having issues with your mental health, you're not required to go to class. So you can take those days, even though it may be graded. It's better for your mental health than to go to class and not pay attention anyway, because you're going to be distracted by something else. So the attendance policy does also neglect to address family accommodations and self-hospitalizations. So if something happens to you and you have to go to the hospital, it may not be excused, even though it's written in the syllabus saying that you should be excused. So I do believe that success is not decided by attendance. So you should be able to go to class and do what you need to do, but sometimes you may not have to go to class because you already know what's going on. And I know sometimes the lectures do get boring, so you may not want to sit through that. I also believe that you should be able to read the book and get what you need. Even though we don't have a book in here, there's a lot of stuff that's online that we could take a look at and see if we can go through and figure it out ourselves. So I just feel like because we're adults, we shouldn't have to have a teacher or a professor keeping us on track. We should be able to keep ourselves on track. So students are not coming to class, obviously, and that's why this is in place. But it's 7?
Give her another minute.
I did good, yeah. She needs 1 more minute.
You clap at 8, correct?
Correct.
I did add 7, sorry. You have 1 more minute.
Is this a recording?
So we got a minute to wrap it up.
All right. So, okay. So, while professors do mean well, it seems that they want us to succeed by coming into class, but we may be able to succeed on our own by reading the book. And the solution to this is to get rid of the grading system altogether within the higher education system. Because we're adults and we're paying for these classes, we shouldn't be put in a situation where we have to be in class just because we are paying to be here anyway. So regardless of if we're in class or not, we paid to be here, so it's our responsibility to be in class. So we are able to teach ourselves at home, just like I mentioned before. Like, we have the books in most classes, and we're able to just read through them. Most teachers rely on the books, and teachers are able to give us readings out of the books, so we should be able to learn from the books also. But I do have this petition that I created myself, so if you do want to sign it, I will submit it and see if we can actually get this taken away, and not just within the school, within the entire college system in our district. So.